I think you could feel some of the hostility coming
Yeah, I
across.
loved it. It made me laugh. I could feel it coming off the page.
I mean, just the audacity, the idea. What's so frustrating about them is the fact that
109.15. Mark the edit. Sorry, go ahead.
they don't. Notre Dame doesn't live in the same world as it. You know, they're like Notre Dame is like the buddy that calls you up. I almost put this in the column I did. Calls you up and like, hey, I'm going to New York this weekend. Let's go. And you're like, hey, dude, I can't. I've got a car payment, and I've got no, man. Come on, what's wrong with you? You're not the guy you used to be. It's like, man, I don't live in your world. You work on Wall Street. You know, like Notre Dame doesn't have the same consequences of other schools because they have so much money. So the idea that they're trying to force Stanford and Cal on this conference that they're not even in is it's unbelievable. But it's par for the course too, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you want to say it's unbelievable, but it's not.
It's totally believable.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. You did a good job with that, Ira, and I mean that because just reading that, I could sense the hostility, and I was like, yes, say it, keep saying it. This is ridiculous. Well, the point being that, oh, by the way, this is the exact reason we should never remain here. That this kind of nonsense, this is buffoonery. People talking about that, and oh, it's a shame. They should. Are we like? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Again, everybody who says these types of things and writes these types of columns nationally about how selfish Florida State is, they're going to be the first to rip Florida State when they lose by 40 to somebody who's making $40 million a year more than them. And they're going to laugh at us just like they did when we were down in the dumps. And the second somebody said, maybe it's time for a legend like Bobby Bowden to move on. Oh, how dare you? And then next Saturday, you lose 30-0 to Wake Forest. And they're like, oh, my God, what's going on at Florida State? And the second you say anything about it, you're made fun of for wanting to move on. No.
Hey, buddy, you're preaching to the choir, my man. You're preaching to the choir.
There's been so much hand-wringing right now about the Pac-12 being disintegrated. Mm-hmm. Was there vitriol towards the Big Ten for going and getting Southern Cal and UCLA? And was there vitriol towards the SEC for getting Texas and Oklahoma? Because both of those were totally unprovoked, just greed moves. Like they weren't protecting their turf. They weren't in danger. Both conferences, like when the ACC preyed on the Big East, that was we don't want to be the one that folds. We'll take their teams. But those were predatory moves. Was there vitriol when those happened?
Well, and I'll give Corey credit. He rightfully wrote that was BS, that what they did was bad for the sport of college football, and that without somebody governing this sport to step in and say, this is not good. Yeah, it betters you. Yes, it strengthens what you are, SEC, but this is bad for college football. It basically eviscerates the Big 12, which it did. And now what you watch the Big 10 do, grabbing UCLA and USC, eviscerated the Pac-12, which was already up against the ropes. Yeah, man.
Then finishing them off by taking Oregon and Washington.
Well,
but like nobody's really, I don't know. I just at the time it felt like everybody was praising Sankey for being a genius and praising Warren
because they're hypocritical, Ira. And this is what I talk about with people like Pat Forty and others. They all write the bullshit column. They all tell everybody about how greedy Florida State is. They all tell everybody how terrible it is and myopic that Florida State's being right now because they're only thinking of themselves. Man, get the hell up out of here with that nonsense. Watch everybody else do the exact same thing, which is to look out for their very own interests, their long-term survival. That's what they're doing. And everybody knows that's what they're doing. It's like I said earlier in the show, when you don't do it, and let's say you do it for what? For the sake of college football, the better angels of our nature, Corey, because maybe you decide, hey, I think it's important that college football survive and that we have regionality and that we have conferences. Yeah, good luck, pal. When you're making $40 million less per year and you no longer matter 5 years from now because of that, where's the 40 column or anybody else's that says, well, at least Florida State did the right thing.
Yeah, it won't happen.
We should look out for Florida State. It will never happen. It doesn't happen.
And I think the one point I want to make about all of this is, and I think I speak for all of us, it's not like we're excited that this is the state of college football. It's not like this is something we wanted to happen, but it's not Florida State didn't create this problem.
Exactly. Florida State's reacting.
They're reacting.
Right.
They're reacting to Texas and Oklahoma leaving for the SEC and then watching the Pac-12 fall apart. They want a spot at the table. As I wrote in this column, there's two super tankers in this sport. Florida State wants to get on one before they're at maximum capacity. You can't blame them because they helped create this sport, and they deserve a spot on that ship a lot more than 80% of
bunch
the
of
people that are on there. So that's what it is. It's the reality of the situation that we're talking about. It would be awesome if every conference made $50 million a year and there was regionality and there was there was really talent disparity and money disparity,
and
but
that's
there
a
isn't.
and that's the thing. Like 10 years ago, when Florida State signed the grant of rights, and then when they extended it a few years later, yeah, you can go back and say it was ridiculous, and they were buffoons, and they made all these mistakes. The gap wasn't what it will be in a few years. And if things had stayed the way they were, those projections wouldn't look like they look. And Florida State maybe could have held on till 2032 or 2033 or 2030 to try to make a move. But once that happened, they created this situation, and then they're turned around and like, oh, it's Florida State's fault. It's crazy.
Well, and it's not new. It's happened for a long time. It's why we get. I mean, I love Florida State, so it pisses me off every time I watch it play out. I mean, and I brought it up earlier in the show, the situation with Bobby Bowden, and obviously I was a part of all that. I remember feeling bad about that, but also giving my opinion and thinking it's so crazy to watch them on College Game Day mock what Florida State is. And the second that somebody from the fan base or somebody with a voice says, "Hey, man, unfortunately, it may be time to move on,"
you're ungrateful.
Yeah, you're an ungrateful, insensitive a-hole who doesn't appreciate, you're spoiled, you're all these things. But the next week when they lose, it's the lead story. It's the first thing they bring up, and they mock, they chide. It's not even that, hey, unfortunately, we all know what's going on down in Tallahassee. It's a shame that it has to end this way, but they lost again last week, 27-10.
And the worst thing about it,
that's not how they report it.
And kind of the worst thing about it is they're ripping those players because they're not living up to the standard of the teams in the past. It's like, man, that's not their fault.
Yeah, they didn't recruit themselves. Like they're at least Florida State's fielding a team.
Yeah, no, it drove me nuts, and this feels very much like that.
Yeah.
Every time I see somebody from the ACC write a story, or somebody in the Triangle write a story about how ridiculous it is that Florida State would want to leave, or that they're not any good, or, why do they think they're special? You're like, come on, man, why. Florida State is part of the best of college football in the last 50 years. They're the upper echelon of the fabric of college football. Everybody knows that. Don't be intellectually dishonest when you write that column. And they all are.